He remained on the board until April of 2019. We also know that
Pam Bondi has gone from being Trump's impeachment lawyer that apparently writes one word on each page to his new nominee for Attorney General. The one thing that she has on Matt Gaetz is that she's not under investigation for child sex trafficking.
Well, I was a prosecutor. I was a homicide prosecutor for 18 years. I was Florida's first female attorney general, and I was special advisor to Donald Trump, Office of White House Counsel, but most importantly, I'm his friend. And I was in that White House, and we all know he surrounded himself with a lot of brilliant women. How many women here tonight support Donald Trump? And backstage, look at these beautiful women sitting behind me. Sorry, guys, in the front row. Donald Trump, that was the greatest gift Mark Cuban could give Donald Trump, I think, by saying something so ignorant and stupid. So I have a message for Mark Cuban, from all of us here tonight. Underestimate us. This is going to be fun.
Before Gaetz' very recent past caught up with him, Bondi didn't realize how much fun she would be having, because despite her opinion that being Trump's loyalist and friend is her best qualification, she'll probably have a much easier time getting confirmed.
These criminals made one very big mistake. They wound up in Polk County. And I'll tell you, it's bad enough in one thing to profit from poisoning others, but it's another when you bring drugs from Mexico into our country, California, Texas, Georgia, and end up in our state and do it with impunity. Because when you're in this country illegally and you're doing things illegally, I want to tell you, and you wind up in Polk County, Grady Judd is going to find you, the DEA is going to help them, and my statewide prosecutors are going to lock you up for as long as we can.
And we're going to enjoy it.
And each of these defendants are looking at 30 years in Florida State Prison for conspiracy to traffic drugs.
Good thing the SpaceX launch that the president-elect and his son Don Jr. went to this week was in Texas and not Polk County, Florida, because Jr. seemed to have his own launch that might have been fueled by some of those illicit drugs that Bondi was warning drug dealers about bringing into our country. Yeah, but anyway, back to Pam Bondi and how she'll clean up all the things that Donald Trump made up about the DOJ and his criminal life.
I think that a major part of this vote was a rejection of this lawfare weaponization. The American people are fair-minded people who want a justice system that reflects integrity, not targeting political opponents to get them out of the election, to use some means other than the ballot. We need a return to normalcy here. This has been the most politicized Department of Justice that I've ever seen, and that's shocking coming from Judge Garland. But when he tried to invoke privilege, for example, on the Robert Hur Biden tape, it's absolutely outrageous for a person to do that. Everything has been politicized. I want to tell you one other thing, though, to tie in with what Katie said. We shouldn't forget that Attorney General Bondi has also fought very hard against the opioid crisis. So she understands the link between health and criminal activity.
Is David Schoen claiming that Bondi won't follow through with Trump's consistent promise of political retribution, targeting anyone who refused to ignore his blatant lawlessness? Even his example of Garland refusing to hand over recordings of Biden and her during that investigation has long been proven to be about Republicans looking to use it for campaign purposes, not to take down Biden. which Robert Hur decided against.
You've got two of the most powerful Republican committee chairmen, Jim Jordan and James Comer. They're pushing with a resolution to hold Merrick Garland, the Attorney General, in contempt of Congress. Now, obviously, you know them both well. You served in those committees. Do you agree with Jordan and Comer on this move to hold Garland in contempt?
No, I think it's a political stunt, Aaron. This is a the transcript from President Biden's testimony in front of Special Counsel Hur has been turned over. They have the material in front of them. What they're looking for is President Biden's voice so that it can be used by the Trump campaign in an election cycle. That's just unnecessary. Attorney General Garland, give him a huge amount of credit here. He took a lot of grief from the left for not redacting the report and withholding certain information that he released so that he would be fully transparent and the American people would have all the information. And now he's getting attacked by the right for not releasing an audio tape that can be used in a campaign. He is an Attorney General
when
Garland's
they release
in
the
a no-win
transcript.
situation. Right. They released the transcript. They have the information. They're just looking for something for political purposes.
They literally wanted to politicize the DOJ, from Robert Hur's damaging report on Biden to attempting to hold Garland in contempt for not handing over the audio of the information that they already had, simply for campaign purposes. But good thing Pam Bondi has been nominated, so that all that politicization Republicans wanted to take part in is now gone.
Lock her up. I love that. Stay with me.
Well, maybe not. But if nothing else, senators that are tasked with vetting Bondi won't have to battle with whether or not she's assaulted anyone or damning details of trafficking that may come to light. They'll only have to worry about her commitment to equal justice, considering she declined to join the multi-state lawsuit against Trump University after getting a $25,000 contribution from Trump. She probably won't deny that a little cash kept her from pursuing justice for her victims, considering that she proudly talked about coordinating with loyal Republicans in Congress to help get the former president off the hook during his impeachment process.
Senators have to raise their right hand and take an oath to do impartial justice. How impartial can it be when McConnell says that he, quote, is taking his cues from the White House?
Well, okay, so Chris, go back to the House proceedings. Adam Schiff started those proceedings himself,
wait.
hidden in the bunker
Pam,
of a
I'm just
Capitol.
asking you.
Hold on.
But wait, I'm asking you about McConnell saying he's taking his cues from the White House. Please answer the question.
So we weren't given a fair trial in the House at all. Now it goes to the Senate, and these senators, the president deserves to be heard. We should be working hand in hand with them. The rules of evidence will apply. These are the senators who will decide if our president is impeached, which will not happen. We should and will work hand in hand with them. We wouldn't be doing our job if we weren't working hand in hand with the Senate to clear the president of this charade, this sham that started with Adam Schiff.